Hey everyone! In this video today, I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cute sunflower friendship bracelet. I think I would call this almost a sort of stained glass or maybe a mosaic design because of the way that the white separates the flower and the leaves. I think this is a really neat, quick, and super cute bracelet. And of course, this doesn't have to be just a sunflower. You can change the yellow and brown to make really any kind of flower that you want. But if you guys want to learn how to make this bracelet, then keep on watching. So for this bracelet, you are only going to need 10 strings. You'll need 4 strands of your white color, 2 strands of your green color, 2 strands of your brown, and then 2 strands of your yellow. And from the outside to the center, you want to order your strings white, green, white, brown, yellow. And I'm starting this segment knotting in a pretty weird spot in the pattern. You can see I've already worked it up before, and I did that because I was trying to test the knotting structure and seeing where the easiest point to start would be. So instead of opening up with an inverse chevron like you can see higher up in the pattern, I'm going to instead start it at the bottom where it's a regular chevron, and doing that will make it way easier to form the bracelet at the start. Because sometimes when you don't do any sort of shape star or teardrop loop, anything fancy like that, it can be kind of hard to put the strings in the shape that you want them to be in, so starting with the chevron is going to be so much easier for you. So that being said, you want to take your outermost left and right strands and bring them to our sort of imaginary center line here where the strings mirror each other. Starting on the left, we're going to take this outermost left strand, which is our white strand, and we want to do forward knots onto the next 4 of these strings to the right of it to bring it to the center. And then on the right side, we'll take this outermost right strand here, which will be our white strand, and do backward knots onto the next 4 of these strings to the left of it here to bring it to the middle. And then you want to take your 2 middle strands here and you want to close up this chevron up here. So you'll take these 2 strands and just tie a knot. I am doing a forward knot here, but you can do whichever knot you want since they're the same color. And then we're going to come to the left side here. What you want to do first is take your second strand from the left, which is going to be your white strand here. And you just want to do a backward knot onto the green strand to the left of it. And then we are going to take our green strand here, that is now the second string from the left, and you want to do forward knots onto your brown and your yellow string here, so just on these 2 strings to the right of it. We want to come back to our outermost left strand, which is now our white strand, And again, you just want to do forward knots onto the brown and yellow string to the right of it. Then we're going to take our brown strand, which is now the outermost left strand, and we are just going to do a forward backward knot onto the yellow string to the right of it. So if you do need an in-depth tutorial on how to make the 4 knots, then you can check it out in the corner up there. I will show you guys how to make the forward, backward, and backward, forward knots, but I don't want to spend too much time on them. So if you do need that video, go ahead and watch that super quickly and then come back to this. So we have our yellow strand here and our brown on the left. To make your forward backward knot, you make your 4 shape first and then pull that through. And then you make the P shape and then pull that through. And that is our forward backward knot. And now we're going to come back to our middle 2 strands here, and we are going to pick up the left white strand of these middle 2, and we are going to do backward knots on all 4 of these strings to the left of it to bring it over to the very left side. And now we're going to go over to the right side and we are going to repeat what we did in this whole section here, but we're mirroring it. So go to your second strand from the right here, which will be your white strand, and just do a forward knot onto the green strand to the right of it here. And then you'll pick up this green strand that we just knotted onto, and you'll do backward knots onto the brown and yellow string to the left of it. And then just like on the left side, we want to close up that little leaf there. So take your outermost right strand, which will be your white, and do backward knots onto the brown and yellow string to the left of it. Next, you will take your brown strand, which is on the outermost right side, and just do a backward forward knot now onto the yellow string to the left of it. So first make your P shape and pull that through, and then make your 4 shape and pull that through, and that is your backward forward knot. And then we want to come back to the middle where our other white strand is hanging out here. You want to do forward knots on all 4 of these strings to the right of it to bring it over to the very right side. And then take your 2 middle strands, which will now be your green color, and you just want to tie a knot with these. Like I've said before, I'm making a forward knot, but you can do whichever knot you want. And then we want to take these white strands that are on the left and right side of our green strands here, and we want to bring those to the middle and then tie them together. So on the left, we're going to do a forward knot. And then on the right, we are going to do a backward knot. And then I'm going to make a forward knot to bring these together. And then next we are going to bring our leaves kind of back out. So on the left side, pick up your green strand and do backward knots onto the yellow and brown strand to the left of it. And then while we're over here, we're going to take our outermost left strand, which will be our white, and we are going to do a forward knot onto the green strand. And then we'll repeat that on the right side, but mirroring that. So take your green strand on the right and do forward knots onto the yellow and brown string to the right of it. And then take your outermost right strand, which will be your white, and go ahead and do a backward knot onto your green strand to the left of it here. And then we're going to go ahead and take our middle two strands, which will be our white strands here, and we are going to bring them out so that way we can kind of separate the leaves and then the sunflower that we'll be doing after that. So take the left strand of your middle two here and do backward knots on all of these 4 strings to the left of it here to bring it over to the very left side. And then come back to the center where we will pick up the second white strand of those middle 2 there. And you are going to do forward knots on all 4 of these strings to the right of it to bring it over to the very right side. And now we get to do our sunflower here. So first you're going to take your 2 middle strands and you want to do a knot with those. Again, I'm making a forward knot here. And then first we are going to take the left strand of our middle 2 here. And you want to make 2 backward knots onto the brown and white string to the left of it. And then when you get to the green, you want to do a backward forward knot. So first, let's make our 2 backward knots. And now we're at our green strand here, so we are going to do a backward forward knot. So make your P shape and pull that through. And then make your 4 shape and pull that through. And now we're going to come back to our second yellow strand here. And we're going to repeat the same thing, but mirror it. So you want to make forward knots onto the next 2 strings to the right of it, which will be your brown and white here. And then on your green strand, you are going to do a forward-backward knot onto it. So make your 4 shape first and pull that through. And then make your P shape and pull that through. And then we want to take our newest middle 2 strands, which will be our brown strands, and we just want to tie a knot with those. Again, making a forward knot here. And then on the left side, we want to do a backward forward knot onto the white strand. And then on the right side, we want to take our brown strand and do a forward backward knot onto the white strand to the right of it. And then we want to close that up by taking our middle 2 brown strands again and making a knot. And then we want to take our yellow strands on the left and right side and bring those back to the middle. So on the left side here, I'm going to take my yellow strand and just do forward knots onto the white and the brown string to the right of it. And then on the right side, I am going to take my yellow strand and do backward knots onto the white and brown strand to the left of it. And then, for our very last step in this pattern, we want to connect our middle 2 yellow strands. So just make a knot with that. And I am not going to close up the sunflower because that is what we started off with. So if you need to follow the video again to work up the pattern, then you can start exactly from the beginning and it'll work up exactly how you need it to be so that you can keep going all the way down until you have your sunflower worked up. This is how it turns out, and I absolutely love this pattern. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.